So by now we've all heard that Donald Trump called for the murder of Hillary Clinton if she appoints a bad Supreme Court justice by gun. All right, anyway, so we heard him say that, right? So Don Lemon on CNN, CNN brings on people. They bring on a couple legal experts to talk about it, and they bring on a Trump supporter, surrogate, to defend Trump because they pretend that's news. That's not news. That's just giving a platform to a liar and propaganda. And guess what happens? Don Lemon actually calls a liar a liar. We've said this a million times. They never do this in the news anymore. They never call a liar a liar. The closest, they'll say something like, oh, he overreached. That's what Tom Brokaw says when a politician lies. He overreached. So anyway, let's watch a little bit of it. Here's what Donald Trump said. Here, remember what he said.
Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment. By the way, and if she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. But
okay. So now they come back into the studio, and Don Lemon's going to put it to this guy, Trump surrogate. Let's see what he says.
Explain to us, people who don't understand, and that you want to laugh at what he meant by that.
Don, the man, I think we all know, is running for president of the United States. He probably has some data that a lot of one-issue voters vote on the Second Amendment issue. It's clear he's trying to motivate people to go out and vote based on the potential.
It's clear he's trying to motivate. So this is them just bringing on a guy to lie. Right, and that's what he looks like when he's lying, because he's lying. It's clear, he said. You know what? This guy's name, by the way, Dan Bongino. Bongino means hello. Bongino means I'm lying. With a straight face. I love when people get indignant while they're lying on TV too. This is my favorite thing. But what is horrible usually is that they never say they're lying. But watch this. Watch what happens.
For an open Supreme Court seat. How that's clear to you, that was some kind of call to an open revolution and to start firing your weapons at public officials is utter absurdity.
No one said that, Dan. No one said that. No one said that. And so no one said that, Dan. And if he wanted people to go out and vote, why not just say, go out and vote? The Supreme Court depends on it.
Listen,
the Second Amendment depends on it. Why say something like that if that's not what he meant? As someone who's running for leader of the free world, shouldn't he be as clear in his words as possible? Go ahead.
Don, do you want me to? I'll answer that question. Listen, we can disagree about how imprudent he worded that, but to suggest that he was calling to violence means to me that you came into this with the idea that Donald Trump was calling to violence. Let me make the case afterwards. You didn't come into this with a clear and open mind. Listen, I endorsed Cruz in the primary campaign. I'm not a Trump surrogate. I'm supporting him
Dan,
now.
what you're saying right now makes...
Yeah, he just sounds like a guy who, he's not as Trump. He's not... It's just like lie after lie, right? Which is awesome. But this guy's not being paid. Usually CNN pays guys to come on and lie like this on their news shows. As far as I know, this guy's not being paid. So normally CNN pays for this kind of insight. But now they're getting it for free. So you think they'd be happy. Here we go.
No sense. I'm sitting at home. I'm watching Donald Trump. I have two ears. I have two ears and I have two eyes, and I can see the reaction of the people behind me. And we're not stupid. Every single person you have on this panel, who are very smart people, David Gergen, who's respected. Hang on, will you let me finish, Dan? David Gergen,
So now this guy just keeps talking because what he wants to have happen is he wants Don Lemon to cut him off because he knows he looks like a jerk off. And he knows that this tape is going to haunt him for the rest of his life. And so now he's going to try and make the most out of it. And he's going to try and get Don Lemon to cut him off and make it look like he was treated unfairly on CNN. Well, so happens.
By people on both sides, by Republicans and by Democrats who've worked for Republicans and Democrats, who has worked for a president who's had an assassination attempt, who's lived through presidents who's been assassinated, knew exactly what Donald Trump is saying, and we're supposed to be stupid enough not to understand that and to believe the spin coming from the surrogates and for people like you. You should be ashamed of yourself.
It doesn't make it.
So I haven't seen someone do that in a long time. When was the last time you saw a news guy say, you should be ashamed of yourself to come on a news show and try to peddle that stuff? That's beneath us. It's insulting to our intelligence. That's what he's saying. He says, this is beneath a news show, which is weird because it's not. Like that, like I said, they normally pay people to come on and say stuff just as dumb as that. Okay? They pay science deniers to come on their channel. So let's want to say something?
No, it's fascinating. This is very rare.
You'll never, and for what, I don't know why Don Lemon thinks it's okay for him. And they must have got a directive. It's okay to now call out Trump people.
Yeah.
But no one else.
Specifically when he says murder Hillary Clinton.
That it's okay to tell the truth.
You can allow little truth into this discussion.
Yeah.
Don, frankly, I'm ashamed that you're talking to me as if I'm a child when 12 years of my life I was a Secret
treating me as a
Service
child
agent,
because you're
putting my
telling
butt on
me
the line
what I'm
while you were
supposed to
learning
hear.
how to be a TV
And you're sitting here on
personality,
television
sitting here
lying to the
lecturing me.
American people.
You don't know crap about this, Don. You're a TV guy. I was a Secret.
So he just told the news guy, you don't know shit about this. So he said crap, though. For some reason, you can say crap on TV, but not shit. I don't know why. I don't know why that is, but it is. So he just told Don, he's trying to get under Don. You don't know. Gee, what do you know? You're a T. I know the guy who's a joke, right? I don't know. He was in the Secret Service, this guy, before he decided to make a joke of himself and then become a maniac, which he is. Hang on, here we go.
Agent. Now cut off my mic. Do what you want.
I'm not going to cut off your mic. I'm going to tell you that you're sitting here and you're lying to the American people. You're lying to the American people, and you know that you're lying to the American people.
I'm lying. Dan Bongino. Right.
Okay. There you go. I haven't.
What dimension did you find that in? This wasn't Earth.
So why does Don Lemon think that's okay? Like, that's not okay on CNN to call a liar, especially someone from the Trump campaign, which they're paying 2 people right now to come on CNN and lie for the Trump campaign, Jeffrey Lords and Corey Lewandowski, who was also being paid by CNN at the same time he was being paid by the Trump campaign, which is crazy unethical that they're doing that. So you can't... That's not news. I don't know what that is. That's infotainment. That's not news. And so the fact that Don Lemon now says, shame on you for lying like this, you guys, your own news network pays Corey Lewandowski. Your own news network pays Jeffrey Lord. Your own news network does this, right? The only difference between this and a regular interview with a Trump supporter on CNN is that this guy's not being paid yet. So I don't know what else to say about that, except it's good to see Don Lemon do that. I mean, kudos to Don Lemon for doing that. Yesterday, there's another video on this channel. He admitted that they're often pressured to make false equivalencies as journalists. That if someone on one side of the aisle says something crazy, they're pressured to find something equally crazy and say it's all equal. And he's saying you can't do this with Trump. And now today he's calling Trump surrogates liars on air and said you should be ashamed of yourself, which is what they should be doing all the time on the news. But they don't. You know what? Like when so how come Don Lemon has the presence of mind to say that to this guy, but Chris Hayes didn't have the presence of mind to say it to Representative Steve King from Iowa when he was on his show and said all that racist crap about subcultures and only white people contributing to our society? Remember that? Chris Hayes laughed it off and he turned to him and said, "You're welcome back anytime." Don Lemon taking a different tack here. Don Lemon standing up, doing what journalists should be doing all the time. When someone uses your news platform to spew BS and lies, you're supposed to call them on it. You're not supposed to thank them and invite them back because you devalue your news program. Because now people turn on your news program, and sometimes people are lying, and sometimes people are telling the truth, and you're not going to tell them when is which. Don Lemon just did. That is unbelievable. I look forward to listening to Don Lemon's new podcast because he's going to be out of a job.
I think it's safe to say Don Lemon's lost access to Dan Bongino.
I think he has lost access to Dan Bongino.